An air of profound sadness, anxiety, and sudden mortality has descended upon the British monarchy after King Charles III was recently given the devastating news that he is battling an aggressive form of cancer, one which leading medical experts have warned gives the 74-year-old sovereign as little as 2 years left to live. According to multiple palace insiders, the king received the grim prognosis from his royal physicians in the last fortnight, following a battery of alarming diagnostic tests and exploratory scans. The exact cancer specifics have yet to be publicly disclosed, but the dire assessment has sent shockwaves of disbelief and grief cascading throughout the House of Windsor. It's been an absolutely traumatic, emotionally torturous experience for His Majesty to process the idea he may not even still be with us at the end of this decade, said one royal aide of the medical report detailing Charles's limited life expectancy outlook. Never in our wildest nightmares could we have envisioned this beloved sovereign being robbed of the chance to reign for more than a tragically curtailed blink of an eye. Buckingham Palace has refused to officially confirm the cancer revelation, citing the king's right to process the situation privately during this difficult time. However, Charles's frail appearance and visible weight loss in recent months has sparked widespread health speculation even before news of the cancer battle was leaked. We knew something was very clearly eating away at the king from an underlying condition or ailment, but had no clue the reality could prove to be so viscerally gutting, remarked longtime royal correspondent Aaron Hill. To learn a man who dedicated his whole life's journey to finally ascending the throne could have it all ripped away before his reign even takes full institutional shape is nothing short of cruelly Shakespearean in its dark irony. Charles's incurable cancer inevitably sets into motion an accelerated timeline for the monarchy's line of succession and largely robs the king of his lifelong dream of overseeing an extended period of transition into a modernized constitutional role for the firm he envisioned. The palace is now feverishly gaming out worst-case scenarios for how Prince William could be thrust into the role of reigning monarch faster than anyone expected. We're now facing the grim inevitability of King Charles's vision being abruptly and prematurely halted in its tracks by this horrific diagnosis, said Dr. Gerard Wilcox, Director of Monarchical Studies at Oxford. For the Crown, it prompts tremendous institutional uncertainty and cloud of mortality hanging over the immediate future in a way even the Queen's passing did not. This fundamentally reshapes the runway timeline Prince William assumed he had before potentially taking over the kingdom sooner than any of us could have foreseen, Wilcox continued. We could be waking up to an entirely reshaped House of Windsor dynamic within a mere matter of months if the situation worsens, which is part of the palace pandemonium. Beyond the line of succession machinations, sources describe King Charles as being consumed by immense private anguish over his life being so cruelly curtailed, just as the responsibilities and ambitions of becoming king he waited his entire existence for are finally realized. Chief among Charles's torments is the notion that his cherished causes and missions to modernize and strengthen the monarchy's relevance may never fully materialize before he passes from this world. The king had long harbored hopes of remaking the institution into a streamlined, nimble voice of moral persuasion aimed at waking up society to critical humanitarian plights such as climate change, global poverty, and wealth inequality. We all witnessed the profound outpouring of emotion and reawakening of higher purpose he poured into that role in the early months of his reign, said royal biographer Megan Reid. The thought of that passion and commitment being permanently extinguished before it matured into a lasting legacy mantle has become an inconceivable cruelty to grapple with. Equally heartbreaking is the prospect of him not even living long enough to experience anything resembling an impactful reign or see grandchildren mature into fully formed adults, Reid said. It's a fountain of sleepless, tear-filled nights that won't cease for His Majesty until the absolute end. With the palace now shrouded in premature twilight over Charles's truncated reign, idle palace gossip has also understandably turned toward assigning blame for systemic failure, allowing the cancer to potentially go undetected and untreated until it reached such late-stage severity. Multiple royal correspondents have cited palace rumor mills aflame with accusations of substandard healthcare protocols, chief among them, persistently dismissed symptoms and incomplete medical evaluations that could have been critical to catching and treating the illness far sooner. There's a rising sense of righteous indignation in Charles's inner circle that this catastrophe was compounded by shocking incompetence in getting him properly seen to in a timely manner, remarked Kristen Meinzer, host of the royal gossip program The AirPod. It's opened up a real angry hornet's nest of emotions being directed at the medical team responsible for catastrophically dropping the ball here. If the whispers are to be believed, Charles himself has confided to many intimates being haunted by a profound feeling of a squandered timeline in which a lurking cancer was allowed to metastasize out of control, while the House of Windsor had too narrow a sighted focus on self-governance power struggles to spare proper vigilance for his health. He said, "If anything I'll regret to my final days, it will be how distracted we all became about staring down Meghan and the Sussex drama that we lost sight of everything else," one source explained. It's left him privately processing a ton of coulda, woulda, shoulda self-recrimination. While the public has yet to even learn of their sovereign fighting a terminal illness, insiders warn the coming weeks and months are expected to be harrowing ones for the 1,000-year-old institution as it begins internalizing Charles's precarious fate. Plans for live broadcast speeches and photo opportunities are already being prepared to present a dignified facade of continuity for the masses. However, the Crown's future grows murkier with each passing diagnosis, hastily forcing external governance scenarios to be anticipated far earlier than anyone ever imagined. In the private halls of Windsor, hushed voices openly ponder how long King Charles may even still be a physical presence for, and whether his mournful reign's tragic final act is ultimately a fight for life and legacy, or an accelerated surrender of the monarchy to the next generation far too prematurely. What is your take on this matter? Please tell us in the comments. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching.